Hey.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, man. It's time for a Truthful Chat, isn't it? So listen, we planted the herb garden last week, and it was a great time. And this week, we really don't have anything to show you. If you're just tuning in, we've been tracking the parallels between gardening and business because we decided
growth.
Shout out to
planting, growing.
And yeah, we planted some herb garden seeds, and that was the whole thing. And now there's no real tangible results to show this week from the seed planting just yet, I want to say. And we want to talk about the lack of results, the things that we are learning thus far. So listen, if you are putting in effort, not seeing the results that you want yet, whatever that thing may be, business, gardening, personal life endeavors, whatever situation is, and all of the pessimistic voices and negativity is screaming at you, don't trip. Just tell them to be quiet, sit down, Hirsch, quiet coyote. What is it? Quiet. The llama and the coyote. Shout out to Brandon. Anyway, this episode is for you, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman. Welcome back, and welcome to Truthful Chats. 20 minutes or less. Designed.
Sometimes more.
I think we might make 20 minutes today.
I mean, I just try to tell the people. Well, go ahead.
All right, 20 minutes or less, designed to help us get to the ongoing practice of generational wellness. So each month we have a Create Generational Wellness theme, and on Thursday nights we kind of sit around and we unpack that a little bit. Talk about what's going on in our lives, how it relates. Hopefully it relates somehow to you as well. So the theme for April is plant, springtime, garden, whatever. And today's episode is Watch Us Grow, and where the seeds at?
Where the seeds at?
Where the seeds at? Where are they? So to backtrack our progress, we bought our seeds. We bought a big planter. Then we decided we needed a little growing kit. Scale it back. And then we planted it. And last week, and we had our little kid, and we did all the things. And then,
per my initial comment at the end of last week's episode, I said, I don't really know if we're gonna have anything to show you guys, like in terms of tangible results and evidence, because I just thought it was too soon. I was like, I don't think we're gonna have anything to really show anybody. And it's only been 7 days. Okay, so it, like literally this time last week we was doing the thing, and it's only been 7 days. And so, yes, we have been checking the progress daily to see if there's any sprouts or buds. We've been like watering and doing the thing, kind of putting it out in the sun, but not trying to put it in direct sunlight, like just like looking at the moist soil, like is anything happening here? And naturally all the doom scenarios kicked in, right? Like,
here we go again.
Messed up already with the brown thumbs.
We killed it before it even started growing.
Have we overwatered it? Did we underwater it? Are we giving it too much sun? Not enough sun? On and on and on. Okay, on and on and on. But today, we decided to do a little bit more research on
what should be happening.
Herbal education of the seeds that went in the soil. And then I also, thought like it would be fun to relate these things to business. So, because that's what we've been talking about. So we're going to do a garden scenario. Then we're going to put it in the business category. Okay. So the first thing is for the garden, it required some further research because we was just like, well, herbs is herbs. And we just going to put them in the ground, like put them in the little kit and like, we going to see what happens. Okay. So we did that, but then as I was Googling and using AI today to learn more about the actual herbs that we planted, I found that they're all very unique and very individual. Like we just can't put them under the herbs umbrella, right? So Each of them require a different type of soil, a different type of water, different type of sunlight exposure, temperature, depth that you're supposed to grow the seed at. They was like, you only supposed to put it in a couple inches versus like you might need to put it deep down. I don't even know how. We didn't even measure the seedling kit. I'm like, okay, well, we tried.
It's in there.
So the measurement?
No, the seed is in the ground.
Oh, I mean, it's in the kit. So I'm like, I hope that's enough dirt for you to sprout and do your thing. So we don't know what we don't know. Okay, so that's part of it. It's just the learning curve, and we really didn't research the germination times all the way out for the seeds. We were just like seeds, dirt, water, herbs, excitement. But we learned today that basil actually supposed to germinate relatively quickly. So
between 5 and 10 days.
5 to 10 days. So this is what day 7. So okay, we got the weekend. Maybe by Monday, Tuesday, something is popping up. Okay, we popping. While time could take like 1 to 2 months. Okay,
be ready by Thanksgiving
to be like
when we really need
months, right? So we just didn't look at that stuff. We didn't think it was a thing. It was like photosynthesis. I took a little bit of science class things. So it's a lot of things. Okay. It's a lot of things. It required a lot of extra research. We ain't know. And, we have them in these little container things right here. We got extra. Okay. But, so this is the thing. And I don't know, maybe we should have broken them up and did some other things.
Put them in separate
containers because they all need separate things. Like the lavender needs a lot of sunlight. Like that should be its own thing. And we should have put it in that thing. But anyways.
Live and learn.
And then you get loves. So business-wise, that is an interesting comparison because how many times have you, depending on whatever it is that you do, or even in your personal life, like we all be treating people the same. We be like, I have a particular clientele that's this, and this is my blanket idea about how I'm going to help the people, right? Or I'm going to step on some toes. You attract the same type of woman or man consistently, and you be thinking you could treat them all the exact same way. And at the end of the day, they're all individuals. So they all need different things. You can't just throw a general blanket over the thing, the people, the relationship, the kid, right? Everybody will
absolutely kids. The kid.
You know what I mean? You can't just be like, well, I fed them all and I rocked them all. I'm like, they all got individual needs. Okay. So it can just be a little bit disappointing when you want that easy solution and it doesn't happen. Right. Or, you do a thing and you're like, yay, I did it. And you want it to turn out well the first time, but it might need a little bit more adjusting. We talked about that last time, right? Planning, doing, checking. There we go. Acting and then adjusting. We are clearly in an adjustment phase. So sometimes you got to have some adjustments. Sometimes it doesn't work out the first time you did it, and that's okay. But then, all of that is also related to managing your expectations and your disappointments, which is an entirely different topic, which we will cover on another podcast episode. But that's the first thing, okay? All the plants require different needs, and so do the people in your life. You can't just put a blanket over everyone and think that that's the thing.
Yeah, so then the next thing we learned in our gardening was maybe each seed, like Jessica said, needed its own seed bed. They are in the same seed bed. I mean, we have all the lavender right here or all the lemon balm right here. I can see the
pictures on the thing, but break them apart though.
But I think they may have needed a separate seeding house cover to germinate. Yeah, thing. Maybe little baby seeding houses. Or maybe even little small pots, the little pots or whatever. Maybe we should have put them in there, and then we could have put them around in the garden to adjust to what they needed. We could have put the lavender in our backyard. There's one part of the yard that's always sunny. So if the lavender needs sunlight, we should have put the lavender over there. And if the basil needs to be under the shade, we should have separated instead of having them all in that one big long tray. Cooking tray or whatever you want to call it.
We ain't know.
I don't know. That could have been an idea, but then again, that's related to our business thing. Yeah. So, are doing different things in the business and you think, again, blanket, throw it over here.
It's going to work for everybody.
It's going to work for everybody. We're going to scale, quote unquote. We're going to get to this point and this, that, and the other. So let's talk about scaling a little bit because everybody uses that term. That's in a business context. Capacity. I want to scale my business. I want to take it to the next level or this, that, and the other. So I discovered on this website, I think it's called dialpad.com. So they were saying there's actually a difference between growth and scaling. Like people use them interchangeably, but they're not really the
same word. Wow.
So growth is more related to increasing the revenue around your business. And since that's an early process, it might require a lot of resources. It might require you to use capital, a lot of stuff. Yeah, capital, money, time, the right software, this, that, and the other. You might have to invest in all that to help you, StreamYard or whatever you need to do your business. Or if you're using an email service, you might want to, invest in MailChimp, Flowdesk. What's the other? I don't know.
There's a bunch of them.
So anyway, all of that is what you have to do to get your business started. And so, yes, you're putting out a lot of capital, but that's the growing phase. All right. So scaling is more so when things are already kind of in motion. And so you don't have to add a lot of resources necessarily. You just have to approach it in a different way. And it's kind of growing on its own. So it'll continue to grow. And then that's how you start to scale. So
it starts to take on a life of its own.
Yeah, there you go. You don't have to sustainable growth.
For a gardening tool. So we were reading today about all these things that you have to do about you might have to do this to the baby seed and do this and that. And you got to start pruning it and cutting it and doing all this. So let's say you did all that, but now it just starts growing on its own and you don't have to give it too much more maintenance after a while. They're the time is fine. You don't really have to water it all the time. You just let it go. That will be the time is scaling now. We don't put all the ingredients resources in it, and now I could just do its own thing, which is
that's like the bougainvillea in the backyard. That bougainvillea is fire. You don't have to do anything to it. It just mushrooms all the time.
And desert.
Thank you. That would be good. So right now we're in the growing phase.
For sure. Life and business.
Yep.
All the
things. Using a lot of resources to try to get the green buds to pop up. I think we're in the germination phase though on the podcast because
I think
this is like our 17th episode.
Woo! 17.
We're
going to shout out ourselves on that.
On the 20th, we might have to pop a bottle of Prosecco.
Oh, I'm just saying. You ain't got to tell me twice. But me and the Prosecco, stay ready.
Okay, so we got that part kind of running, smoothly. We're just stacking content, putting it up. So that kind of is germinating. We know kind of what to do with that and about that. However, the marketing, promotion, social media part of
everything.
Listen, that part is a lot of resources, a lot of time, bless the child's heart, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources going into that. And
I'm trying to do better,
the green buds are starting to pop up, but we haven't gotten to germination yet. And that's no diss. It's just
what it is. No, it's just what it is. I mean, it's like one of those things where I just decided I was going to take my time with it. I'm in a entrepreneurship class. Shout out to the MMU fam, David Shands, Social Proof, all of them. Love y'all. But when I first got in, I was so excited because all these entrepreneurs were doing all this stuff. And every week they would have, these wins and this, that, and the third. And I was like, I just didn't want to get overwhelmed because I was like, listen, you don't know what kind of time, money, energy, attention, staffing, that they're putting in. So you can't expect to get their wins, right? Based on something that you may or may not be doing. You know what I mean? Their path is their path. So I just decided very early on that I wasn't really going to get overwhelmed. And I was like, listen, fam, make it that you are consistently just doing this. And then you promote as you promote once you get a rhythm for that. So now we got a rhythm for this. So now I can start
moving to the next thing,
germinate on that thing too, and get a rhythm for that. And social media will be
with us always,
hopefully better and a lot less hectic. Yeah. For me, some of y'all are great at it. You just wake up with ideas. Shout out to Vaughn. She a guru. Okay. I just, decide when I'm going to be committed. But I'm trying to get better at being committed to social media. Okay. My thing is I don't want to build these platforms and then, people get dumped and whatnot.
And I sometimes have the ideas, but I don't have the tech skills. I'll be like, Jess, we should so. And then she'll be like, oh, that's easy for you to say because you don't realize for me to do that, it does this and I got to do this.
And maybe I'm underutilizing AI because, they say that's the cheat codes to everything now. You can do everything on AI. So but again, that's something I got to learn. I got to take time with.
Yeah.
So speaking of which.
Scaling though. Just think of it. This is the way I think of it in my mind. We have all these little germinating things in our business, and eventually we're gonna move to the big planter.
Oh,
yeah. It's all gonna be growing. It's gonna be growing so wild. We're gonna have it move it to.
It's gonna be the bougainvillea of
the
like dream yard.
The bougainvillea.
She's corny. Anyway,
the bougainvillea of the business.
Speaking of time, that brings us to our next gardening / business technique. Time and consistency. Again, shout out to David Chance, MMU, Social Proof, Donnie Wiggins, everybody, Bryn, and everybody over there. So consistency is the only cheat code, okay? Consistency is the only cheat code. You got to stay consistent and committed. Because as much as we're sort of like dooming and glooming about the plant. I'm
not dooming and gloomy.
Are you? We're not dooming it. We're concerned. Okay, we have a healthy, rational bit of concern about these plants, but we also know that we're jumping the gun because we're only a week in. Okay, maybe if we get 2-3 weeks,
I'll be concerned this time next week if we don't see anything.
Okay, then maybe you know what I mean. Now we have the knowledge to be like, okay, now I know your germination phase. So now I know when I should be seeing some growth, not like, I don't know. I just been staring at it and like nothing's happening. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't really have proof that it's not working. Something's happening on the soil, God willing. So we just got to kind of wait it out.
Proof that it's not.
Yeah, we just kind of got to like work it out.
Have a little anxiety around it.
Yeah, that's why I said we're concerned. There's a healthy bit of concern given our track record and stuff. But like, we don't know. So, and then, like we said, the germination phases are all vastly different. And so we can't expect the time to be at the basal pace. That's a word.
Hello, that'll preach.
You can't expect
you can't grow time on a
basal schedule. Some is fast, some is slow burning. That goes for people, places, things, animals, kids, babies, children, men, women.
Oh, I like that.
All of the time. So you just gotta take your time. Because some of the seeds are gonna grow faster than others. Some are gonna grow slow. Some might not grow at all. We'll see when we get to it. But we just have to be patient. We have to be consistent, committed to what we said we're gonna do, and just see what happens, man. And I think that's part of the journey is just in life, in gardening, in business, fam. You just gotta like trust the process. Like I say it every week. Just calm down. And I'm talking to myself too. Calm down.
Definitely talking to me.
Shout out to Janae Aiko.
Wait.
By the way.
I'm going to tell y'all a little
Calm
secret.
down your energy.
Okay, I'll tell you right before we wrap up. No, or should I talk about it now?
Girl, wait on you.
Jessica called me Jack this week.
She is Jack. Okay, let me put this in context.
Y'all know Jack.
Wait, let me put this in context. This is a little bit of a sidebar, but you understand.
So, yeah.
For all of my Disney kids that love The Incredibles, and we talking the first Incredibles, 2005, when Pixar had never done nothing like this, and we was all like, yo, what is this film? If you haven't seen The Incredibles, it's about a superhero family trying to live a very ordinary life, and the parents used to be like bomb superheroes, but then they got married and they settled into a very regular normal life. That'll preach too. Might have to go back and watch that. But the dad always was like, I remember being super and I love being super and I don't want to feel like I have to give that up to have a family. Okay, that'll preach. Anyway, Jack is the youngest member of the family. So what ends up happening, that's a little boy spoilers, but if you ain't seen The Incredibles by now, my God, I don't know what you're doing. Disney Plus, okay? So the kids all end up having superpowers, but Jack is the baby, so nobody thinks he has any superpowers. And then as the movie progresses, you find out he has superpowers. If you remember at the end of the scene, I think the bad villain's name is Syndrome, whatever. He tries to kidnap Jack, right? And the parents have been gone. The oldest kids, they've been got kidnapped, whatever. Jack's been with the babysitter doing weird stuff, and the babysitter keeps calling like he's doing all this strange stuff, and I don't know what's going on. So Syndrome tries to kidnap Jack, and in the middle of him taking Jack up to the spaceship, he turns into metal. He's super heavy. He turns into something else, and then he turns into a red little demon baby. And he started ripping out Syndrome's hair and like smacking him in the head and doing all this thing. So
he gets away. That's the thing.
He gets away. But the thing is, last week Pam started tripping. Like around like 10, we're kind of late hours. I'm trying to do better because I have to be up early. But from like 10:30 to 11:30, she just will start complaining and tripping and going all off and just being negative. And I was like, girl,
I wasn't negative.
You was irritated and you was
irritated. I might have been irritated and a little agitated.
So,
but I wasn't negative.
I was like, oh, okay, well, for some that would be negative. But I was like, girl, what's going on? So I was sitting there and I was like, you remind me of somebody, but I don't know who it is. And the Lord threw Jack in my spirit. That exact scene. And I haven't seen that movie in years. And I was like, this is who you are. And I showed it to her and she started laughing just like she laughing now. And because she's Jack, her little emotions and her little feelings, her anxieties, they be getting the best of her and she just turns into Jack.
But only for certain parts of the day. For most of the day, I'm okay. But then there are moments in the day where Jack takes over. So that's become my little, like, you know how you have a mantra or something that you can
Here's
say.
Mine. Protect your energy.
So now when I feel myself starting to get worried about the garden, about the business, about life in general, I just go, Jack. And then I just, bring myself down.
Because she don't look like a little red demon baby.
So that's just a little aside. That's
a side of craziness.
So if you're ever with me and Jessica and you hear me say Jack, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to bring myself down off the ledge. But anyway, and wrapping things up.
And wrapping it up.
We got to maintain our growth mindset. We got to keep being patient. We got to keep trying things. We cannot give up, even though there are some days where I'd be like, you know what?
Never mind.
Never mind. But that's not what I'm made out of. I know that. I'm made out of Jack stuff. So I'm going to just jump up.
Jack is a demon baby, but Jack is also a superhero.
He's a superhero. He has superpowers.
He saves the world. Are you using your powers for good or for evil?
So I'm going to use my powers for good, and we're going to figure this thing out. And hopefully, like we always say, we hope we're helping you figure it out.
And if you have your Jack moments, it's fine. We just would not prefer that you stay there, but
I just redirect that energy. You have to keep telling yourself that you're capable of getting to your future self. You're capable of getting to the place of the vision that God gave you. If that's who you believe in, that's who we believe in. You're capable of getting to the vision that God gave you. And, it's not going to be easy all the time, but it is going to be purposeful and productive. And we're going to keep going.
If you stay the course, because you cannot scale, plant in the planter anything that you haven't germinated.
So yes. The germination process.
The germination process.
I'm understanding that is like a really serious phase.
And having listened to the parables of Jesus most of my life, that was an agrarian society. So those things made sense. Yep. For city folks like us, we'd be like, oh, okay, well, we got
to have microwave.
Patience and the faith of mustard seed and whatever, but it's really
planting,
you start to look at these.
You learn a lot.
You learn a lot on life.
That being said, we are still looking for a plant guru, advice, whatever. If you have something, if you looked at the picture and go, oh, bless their little hearts, they should do this, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that thing is, please
help us, because mentors collapse decades into days. Okay. Yes. And we need planting help. So hit us up in the comments.
DM us.
But you can't do that if you're not following us on IG, Facebook, fan base. For those who are up on game, we are at Create Generational Wellness on all platforms. We hope you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, because that's where all the things is going. Turn on notifications. We're here every Thursday for sure. We definitely got some other things coming down. We're planning. Mm-hmm. We're planning and planting all at the same time.
Planting, researching, growing.
All of the above.
Germinating ideas.
Trying to get some guests in here. So it's not just...
We made a list of all the mother-daughter duos that we want to invite on. So,
but we had to germinate and take time to do that, because we're not just going to throw people into the fire. So with that, we're going to bid you adieu. So long. Farewell.
Happy Thursday night.
Yes,
Have a great weekend.
Goodbye. 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 I don't know if we quite hit the note.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all. Have a good night. All right, bye.